In this lesson, we're going to block in the blade. Alright, so let's come in and let's use a line to block in our blade. So let's go to our Create panel, and then we're going to go to the Shapes, Splines, and then Line. Now we're going to be using this line just to draw out a shape, and you can draw any shape that you want for yours. But I'm going to create a shape that's a little out there, just because I want to be able to display the capabilities of using different shapes and modeling those in higher detail. So to get started here, I'm going to click a point right here, just left click, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and just drag straight out. Now from here, I'm going to left click and I'm going to come down just a little bit, and then we're going to come back up. Now this is going to get a little weird at first, so just bear with me. So from here I'm going to hold down Shift to come straight out again, just for a little bit, and then we're going to come down to this point right here, and then we're going to create kind of like a triangle. So I'm going to go from here up to here, and then hold Shift and drag straight up, and then we're going to drag down to here, and then we're going to drag straight down, and then straight across to here. Okay, so it's going to look a little odd, and again, we haven't smoothed out any curves or anything like that. And now what we want to do is come in and start moving points to match up with exactly what we want. Now we're not worried about curves just yet. I'm going to pull that up. That's going to give me the shape that I need there. I want this to be a little shorter. Okay, I want it to be a little bit more proportional to the handle. So it's a machete, so whenever you have a hold of it, you've got enough power over the blade itself. It's not real long or anything like that. Let's take these points right here. I'm going to pull that up just a little bit higher, make that a little bit thicker, and this looks good. I'm going to take this point and I'm going to pull that back some, make that a little bit more diagonal. And then from here, let's take this, let's pull that in, and I'm trying to get that as close as possible to the same angle or peak there. And then let's grab all of these points. Let's not forget this one. Let's pull that across like so. Let's grab all these points and let's right click and change the tangent type from corner, which gives you these linear lines, to Bezier. Now with Bezier, I can select each individual vertex, and I have these green handles that I can control. So now I can come in and start to pull those up and get a different shape out of this altogether. So then I can pull this down and create kind of a little curve that insets up here and then comes back up across the top. And let me pull this handle up like so. And let me actually pull that back down. And then we're going to take this point right here, we're going to drag that down some, and then this one we'll pull down, and this is going to start into the circle. So we're going to pull that down, and we're going to take this one. I'm going to right click and change that to Bezier, and then grab the handle. Notice how the handles are locked together. That ensures that this is a very smooth line, and it's the same angle all the way across. Then let's grab this handle and pull that back, and let's try to get a circle shape from here to here. Now if it's not giving you the shape that you desire, what you can do, just to kind of give yourself a little bit of a template, you can grab a shape and a circle and just left click and drag that circle out, and then move that to where it's touching the top and the bottom here. So let me make this circle a little bit larger. Let me scale that up. Okay, so I'm going to make it touch at these points, and then I'm going to grab this original object. Let's go back to vertex mode, and I'm going to take this vertex right here. I'm going to put it right at that point right there, and then I'm going to grab my handle and I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to try to match the shape of that circle, and again, that's just to kind of work as a template. And we don't have to be exact, but we want to be pretty close. So now that I have that, I'm going to take that circle and just simply delete it, as I have my shape that I'm looking for. And let's continue on with shaping this out. So I'm going to round out this corner just a little bit. And then this handle is going to come up as it's going to slope around the top. Bring that one in. And we'll pull this one out. Okay, so a nice little tapered curve. And do the same thing down here. And we're going to take this one, we're going to pull that up like so, as well as this one. And let me take this point down a little bit more like so, and then let's pull this one in too. So it's going to make that kind of thin there. Take this handle and pull that out. And I'm going to pull this one down in, just to kind of curve that. Okay, so just do some fine adjustments to your shape of your machete. Okay, you can pull these points around, you can reshape them however you see fit, but this looks good for me. I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking so far. And what we're going to do in our next lesson is, well, actually, before we go on to the next lesson, we need to make sure that we create some geometry here, as we still just have a line. So to begin creating some geometry, I'm going to use a modifier, and I'm going to use the extrude modifier. Now if I hit P on the keyboard and go to my perspective, you can see here that it creates a line of polygons. Now my amount is already set to 10, so you'll want to go ahead and type that in to be able to see anything. Now once I have this, I want to create a surface along the front as I still have a hole here. So let's use our edit poly modifier and put that on top. And then let's go to edge mode by hitting 2 on the keyboard. And I'm going to hit F3 and I'm going to select these two edges right here on the end. And I'm going to bridge that. And then I'm going to hit 3 to go to border mode and select the borders on this. And let's hit cap. And that's going to cap that with a single polygon across the front. So now by using these modifiers, if you need to make a change to your shape, you can go back down to your line. If you'll remember from the last level, we talked about using modifiers and how they can be a little bit of an issue and how they can be dependent on one another. And so if you make any changes, you hold yes, make those changes, and then when you come back, you might have some topology that's torn up or something like that. So you just want to be very careful when you do that. Okay, but I'm happy with the shape of this, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change its color to black. And we'll apply our material. And then now, in the next lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to use this object as a helper. Okay, and let me center that up on my object here. We're going to use this as a helper, and what it's going to do is we're going to use some of our polygon modeling tools that we've talked about in the last level, and we're going to use those to create the shape and the topology that we need for our blade. And we'll get started with that next.